Okay, now obviously we've checked if our rows array isn't empty. So if there are products displayed under this specific category, display them. But what happens if there aren't any products? Obviously, then we need to display the message that there aren't any products there, basically. So after this closing bracket referring to our if is an empty statement, we type else, open another curly brace, and now before require once, we close this brace here. Basically, let's leave it like that. Okay, now if we simply display the message in a paragraph saying something like there are no products in this category. And that's it. Okay, as you may remember, we've created a paragraph with the add to basket sentence here. Obviously, we need to convert this into the button. Now, the button will be stored inside of the new class called basket. So let's replace it with opening PHP tag, echo, new class basket. As you may already know, we are going to be using static method, active button. Active because it's actually activating or deactivating, status, which means adding or removing from the basket. That's exactly what this button will be doing. And we are passing one parameter, which is basically ID of the product. Then semicolon and closing curly brace. Obviously, if we preview the page now and refresh, we're gonna have a bunch of errors. Yeah, there we go, because obviously this basket class doesn't exist and so on. Okay, so let's go back to our editor and create a new class. So open a classes folder and create a new class called basket.php. I mean, new file obviously called basket.php. And inside of this file, we're going to create the new class called basket, which doesn't extend anything. So it's just opening and closing curly bracket. And the first method we'll be creating here is obviously our active button. So public static function active button, and one parameter which will be session ID, simply ses ID, opening and closing curly brace. Now first we check if is set and now session, and the first index of this session will be called basket. We'll be storing all of the basket sessions inside of this basket index. And the second one will be our session ID. So we're checking if we have this ID inside of the basket session already. Else we'll do something else, obviously. Okay, so if it is, then we create a variable called ID and we assign the value of 0. Then we'll create another variable called label, and a label will read remove from basket. Basically, if we've already added this specific product to the session, to the basket in other words, then obviously we want to remove it eventually. Then, otherwise, if we copy all this, the ID will be 1 and the label will be add to basket. Okay, so after this if-else statement, if you create the out variable and assign the value of a, href, and we only place the hash inside of the href parameter, then class will be add to basket, so that we can identify this button later on. Then, sorry, just double quotes because we continue inside of this class. Then out dot equal, because we are continuing with this out variable. If ID equals 0, then we want to add another class. So space red. So we're going to have add to basket space red. 2 classes assigned to this specific link. Then otherwise, colon, don't add anything. Just leave add to basket. Okay, we continue with our out variable. Down inside of the double quotes, backslash, sorry, and obviously we're closing the class property. Okay, then we go to rel, and rel parameter will contain our session ID, which is ID of the specific product, concatenated with, so dot, double quotes, and inside of the double quotes, underscore with the ID, which depending on the case will be generated here, 0 or 1. Okay, and after this, again, we add to our out double quotes, backslash, and obviously double quote to close our rel property. Then closing, opening a tag, and inside of the curly braces label. And then we also close the a tag. Now, right at the end, return our out. Okay, it may sound as we've done quite a lot here, but we will start getting into all these sessions a little bit later on, so you will understand a little bit more about what's happening here. But basically, what is happening at the moment, the only state we will see is just this add to basket, because we're not creating sessions yet. So obviously this session won't exist for the time being, even if we click on this button. So if we save the file, go back to our browser, refresh, you can see we have add to basket links. If we click on this link, obviously nothing happens yet, because we will be using Ajax, jQuery and Ajax functions built in inside of the jQuery library to process all these requests. But that's everything in this video. So let's move to the next one.